On a warm summer night in June 1912, a small American town went to sleep believing it was safe. Doors were unlocked, windows were open, children slept peacefully in their beds. By morning, 8 people would be dead, their skulls crushed, their faces unrecognizable, and the killer would be gone without leaving a single clear trace. More than a century later, the Villisca Axe Murders remain one of the most disturbing unsolved crimes in American history, not because of ghosts or legends, but because of how calm, deliberate, and inhuman the violence was. Villisca in 1912 was a quiet farming town with fewer than 2,000 residents. It was the kind of place where everyone knew each other. Church attendance was high, crime was rare, people trust their neighbors. There was no reason to fear the night. That illusion would be shattered forever. Josiah Moray was a successful businessman who owned a local farm equipment store. He was respected, financially stable, and active in the community. His wife, Sarah Moray, was known as a devoted mother and churchgoer. They had 4 children: Herman, Catherine, Boyd, and Paul. All were under the age of 12. The Morays lived in a modest white frame house near the center of town. Nothing about the family suggested danger. Nothing about their lives suggested enemies. On the evening of June 9, 1912, 2 guests were staying at the Moray house. Lena and Ina Stillinger, aged 12 and 8, were friends of the Moray children. After attending a church event together, the girls asked permission to stay the night. Their parents agreed. It was a normal decision in a town where people felt safe. That decision would haunt Villisca forever. That Sunday evening, the Moray family attended a children's church program. Witnesses later said nothing seemed unusual. The family returned home around 9:30 p.m. They likely prepared for bed shortly after. Lamps were turned off, doors were locked, though one may have been left slightly open for ventilation. Sometimes after midnight, someone entered the house. The murder weapon was an axe. Not the family's axe, but one taken from Josiah Moray's own tool shed. The killer knew where it was. This detail alone suggests familiarity with the property, or at least confidence and time. Investigators later believed Josiah and Sarah Moray were attacked first as they slept in their bedroom. Both suffered repeated blows to the head. The force was extreme. Their faces were crushed beyond recognition. What stands out is not just the violence, but the control. The killer struck with precision, making sure each victim was dead before moving on. After killing the parents, the murderer climbed the narrow staircase to the children's room. Herman, Catherine, Boyd, and Paul were asleep in the same bed. Each child was struck one by one. One of them may have woken up. Evidence suggested at least one defensive movement. It did not matter. The killer then crossed the hallway to the guest room where the Stillinger sisters slept. Here, something different happened. Unlike the other victims, the girls' heads were not covered with bed sheets. Their night clothes were partially disturbed. This raised uncomfortable questions that were never fully answered. After killing all 8 victims, the murderer did not flee immediately. This is one of the most disturbing aspects of the case. The killer washed his hands, he covered mirrors and windows with clothing and towels. He placed slabs of bacon over wounds, possibly to stop bleeding. He stayed in the house for an unknown amount of time. On the morning of June 10, a neighbor noticed the Moray family had not come out. Their doors were locked, no one answered. Eventually, people entered the house. What they found traumatized even seasoned investigators. Blood was everywhere. The smell was overwhelming. The silence was worse. Instead of securing the crime scene, townspeople flooded the house. Friends, neighbors, and even children walked through the rooms. Evidence was touched, moved, and destroyed. The axe itself was handled by multiple people. This single failure may have guaranteed the case would be never solved. Almost immediately, suspicion turned inward. In a small town where demands of face, Josiah Moray had enemies due to business disputes. One suspect was a local minister who suffered from mental illness and had inappropriate behavior toward children. He later confessed under pressure, then retracted. There was no physical evidence. As investigators looked wider, a terrifying pattern emerged. Between 1898 and 1912, dozens of axe murders occurred across the United States. Entire families killed in their sleep, mirrors covered, no robbery, no clear motive. Some believe Villisca was part of a series committed by a single traveling killer. One suspect, William Mansfield, was arrested years later. He had a violent history and links to familiar crimes. His brother was a private detective involved in earlier investigations. Despite circumstantial connections, Mansfield was acquitted due to lack of evidence. No fingerprints, contaminated evidence, false confessions, political pressure, poor forensic science of the era, every path led to uncertainty. The Moray house still stands. It has been restored to look exactly as it did in 1912. People visit, some stay overnight, not because of ghosts, but because the crime itself refused to fade. The Villisca Axe Murders are terrifying because they feel impossible. No locks broken, no warning, no escape. The killer walked into a normal home, destroyed an entire family, and disappeared into history. More than 100 years later, Villisca still asks the same question. How can someone commit such violence and leave behind nothing but silence? There is no monster revealed, no final confession, just 8 lives erased in the dark and a town that never truly slept the same way again.